Long before the Great Pyramids were built, even before the first pharaohs ruled, there were mummies in Egypt. These were not the carefully wrapped mummies we often imagine. They were created by accident, by the land itself. The story begins over 6,000 years ago, during the pre-dynastic period. People would bury their dead in simple pits dug into the hot, dry sand. A person was placed in a shallow grave, often curled up on their side, as if sleeping. Then they were covered with the desert sand, a simple, respectful farewell. The desert turned bodies into mummies. Hot, dry sand acted like a natural oven. It drew water out of the body quickly. Without water, decay-causing microbes couldn't survive. Skin, hair, fingernails were preserved almost perfectly. These natural mummies were a gift from the environment. The ancient Egyptians had a very special way of looking at the world. They believed death was not the end. It was a doorway to the afterlife, a paradise of eternal peace and happiness. But to get there, they needed important things. The most important was their body. It had to be preserved as a home for the soul. The soul had parts, the ka and the ba. The ba, shown as a bird with a human head. The ba could fly out during the day and roam the living world. The ka, the life force or spiritual twin. The ka stayed in the tomb and needed food and drink offerings. If the body decayed, the ka and ba had nowhere to go. They would be lost, and the chance at a happy afterlife gone. This terrifying idea made mummification essential. Creating a mummy was a long and complicated process. It was a special job done by skilled priests called embalmers. The whole process took about 70 days from start to finish. The first and most important step was to remove the internal organs: stomach, liver, intestines, lungs. They were then stored in special containers called canopic jars. Imseti, human head; hapi, baboon; duamutef, jackal; kebesenuef, falcon. The heart was usually left inside the body. The Egyptians believed the heart was the center of intelligence and emotion and needed for judgment in the afterlife. Embalmers washed the body inside and out with palm wine. Then they packed the body, inside and out, with natron salt. The body was left covered in natron for about 40 days. Final stage, wrapping. Each finger, toe, arm, and leg was wrapped, often taking over 2 weeks. Perhaps the most famous mummy in the entire world is that of Tutankhamun, the boy king. His tomb was discovered in 1922 by Howard Carter, and it was an incredible find. Inside, it was filled with thousands of amazing treasures: golden chariots, jewelry, his spectacular golden death mask. Tutankhamun himself was resting inside a series of 3 coffins, the innermost made of solid gold. He became king at about 9 years old and died at 19. His mummy helps us learn about his life and the time he lived in. Another very powerful and famous mummy is Ramesses II, also called Ramesses the Great. He ruled for 66 years and lived into his 90s. He was a great builder, a mighty warrior, and his mummy shows us his look. In 1974, his mummy was being damaged by fungi, so it was flown to Paris for treatment. He was even issued a modern Egyptian passport for the trip. Occupation: king, deceased. Hatshepsut was one of the few women to rule as pharaoh. For a long time, her mummy was thought lost. A single tooth found in a box with her name matched a gap in a mummy's mouth. Dental detective work proving the mummy was Hatshepsut. These royal mummies are like time travelers. They bring us face to face with people from thousands of years ago. They tell us about health, features, and personal stories. We can see their features, learn about their health, and uncover secrets of their lives and deaths. While Egypt is the most famous place for mummies, it is not the only one. People all over the world in different times and for different reasons, also found ways to preserve their dead. In South America, the Chinchorro people were making mummies long before the Egyptians. The oldest known man-made mummies date back over 7,000 years. They removed organs and rebuilt bodies using sticks, clay, and reeds, then reattached the skin. The Inca mummified kings and treated mummies as if still alive, dressing them, offering food, even bringing them to ceremonies. High in the Andes, frozen mummies like the Ice Maiden Juanita are incredibly well preserved by cold and dry air. Across the ocean in China, archaeologists found remarkably preserved mummies. One famous example is Lady Xinjue. She was found in 4 nested coffins surrounded by a strange liquid that helped preserve her. Her skin was still soft, her joints could still bend. From the frozen tombs of the Siberian steppes to the peat bogs of northern Europe, mummified remains appear in many places. Bodies in bogs were tanned by acidic water, preserving skin and hair, often bones dissolved. These finds, like the Tolland Man, give a glimpse into lives of Iron Age people. Each discovery shows the desire to preserve the body is a shared human story. Studying mummies is like being a detective. Every discovery can reveal a new and surprising secret about the past. Many Egyptian mummies have tattoos. For example, Amunet, a priestess. Tattoos in dots and dashes on her abdomen, likely related to fertility protection. In the past, we used to unwrap them, which damaged many. Now CT scans and special X-rays let us see inside without touching bandages. Scans revealed hidden amulets and objects. Scans and DNA have shown misidentified mummies. They let us see diseases, broken bones, and even murder, a knife wound in Ramesses III. Egyptians mummified millions of animals: cats, dogs, crocodiles, birds, beetles. Some were beloved pets, others votive offerings to gods. But CT scans revealed surprises. Many animal mummies are hollow, filled with mud, feathers, or mixed bones. Not a complete animal in many cases. Mummies are much more than spooky figures. They are an incredible source of knowledge, a direct physical link to people who lived thousands of years ago. Ancient DNA research helps modern geneticists understand populations and disease. Preservation challenges teach museum experts how to care for fragile objects for future generations. That care helps ensure these objects survive for future visitors. Ultimately, mummies teach us about our shared human experience. They show ancient people weren't so different from us. They loved their families and worried about the future. Their careful preservation shows what mattered most: belief in eternal life and a connection to ancestors. By studying mummies, we're listening to the past. Silent teachers offering a window into the worlds they left behind.